Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, Maddie, whatever time it is when you're watching this. I decided to make a video for you. Sorry that you're not feeling well, and hopefully you'll be back soon. But in these last 2 days, Monday and Tuesday, we have done one more concept, and it is the second concept in Chapter 5, Lesson 4. So it does build on the idea of simplifying fractions and moves into the idea called equivalent fractions. So let's define what an equivalent fraction is first, and then move on to the kind of problems that you'll be working on today for an assignment. So in our last time, you had this teaching to see if you can simplify a fraction. Is this fraction in its simplest form? It is not, since there is a number that can go into both 4 and 16. And you could look at this probably in either 2 steps or 1 step. So for example, I may see that these are both even numbers, so I know 2 goes into both of them. And 4 divided by 2 is 2, and 16 divided by 2 is 8. But then I have to ask my question, is that number 2 over 8 in simplest form? And the answer there is no, it is not, because they're both even numbers. So I can divide both numerator and denominator by 2 a second time. And 2 divided by 2 is 1. 8 divided by 2 is 4. And 1 over 4 is in a simplified form. There is no number that can divide both into 1 and 4 to reduce it any further in terms of whole numbers. And so 4/16 reduced down to 1 over 4, those are called equivalent fractions because they're, even though the numbers are different, the value is the same. They just differ by a factor of multiplying by 2 twice or by 4. So those are equivalent fractions, and that is the whole basis for the kinds of problems you'll be doing for the assignment I'm going to give you. And I think it'll be fairly straightforward. So you're going to see problems like this. 3 over 8 is equal to what number over 24? So in other words, we're going to try to find a number that fits the blank spot that makes 3 over 8 and something over 24 to be equivalent fractions. There are one of 2 questions you can ask to solve these problems, but your first step is to identify what numbers am I going to work with first. And it's always going to be the numbers that you have for either both numerators or both denominators. So if I look at this problem, I have a 3 for the numerator and nothing here. So I don't have both numerator numbers. But I do have an 8 and a 24 in the respective denominators. So I know both denominators, so that's what I'm going to look at. And then the question I'm going to ask for this one, and then we'll do a problem where you would ask the second kind of question, is what does it take to get from 8 to 24 by multiplying? Or in other words, 8 times what number gets me to 24? And that should be fairly straightforward. 8 times 3 equals 24. So once I've found that out, then I have to multiply the 8 by 3 to get 24. I multiply the numerator by that same factor. I multiply by 3 as well, and 3 times 3 is 9. So 3/8 and 9 over 24 are equivalent fractions. And in your book, it's perfectly fine to either write 9 over 24 or just 9, since that was your blank, the way we originally wrote the problem. So this is the first kind of problem that you'll be looking at. The second kind looks at question number 2, and it really is fairly straightforward in that way, and you'll see what I mean. That'll be pretty self-evident what your question has to be. And so if I gave you this one, 15 over 25 is equal to 3 over what number? This time I have the 25 in the denominator, but no number in this denominator. I know both the numerator numbers, so I'm looking at the numerator numbers. And notice I'm going from a larger number to a smaller number. So I can't ask the question 15 times what gets 3, that would be a fraction. I have to ask the question 15 divided by what number equals 3. And hopefully that's readily apparent. 15 divided by 5 equals 3. So if I divide the numerator by 5, I also have to divide the denominator by 5, and 25 divided by 5 is 5. So 15 over 25 and 3 over 5 are equivalent fractions, Or the way the book gives the answer, since your blank was here, your answer could be simply 5. Okay? Let's try a couple practice problems, and then I will give you an assignment. So let's try this one. 2 over 8 is equal to what over 24? So you can pause the video and work on it, and as soon as you have an answer, restart the video, and we'll move on. So you can hit the pause button now. Okay, welcome back. Let's see how you did. I have the 2 here, but I don't know the numerator. I know the both numbers in the denominator, so that's what I'm working with. Smaller number to a larger number, so the question I'm asking is, the smaller number, or the 8 times what number makes 24, and 8 times 3 equals 24. So if I multiply the denominator by 3, I have to multiply the numerator by 3, and 2 times 3 is 6. So 2 over 8 and 6 over 24 are equivalent fractions, or like I said in the book, your answer would be 6, because that's where the blank was. Okay, let's try one more. The big hint will be it will be asking the second kind of question. So let's try this one. 21 over 28 equals 3 over blank, or what number. So again, hit the pause button now. Okay, now that you have an answer, let's look at it. I know 28 here, but nothing for the other denominator number, so I don't work with those. I know the 21 and the 3 in the numerator, so I work with those numbers. It is a larger number going down to a smaller number, so I don't ask the multiplication question, I ask the division question. 21 divided by what number equals 3? And 21 divided by 7 equals 3. So if I divide by 7 in the numerator, I would divide by 7 in the denominator, and 28 divided by 7 is 4. So 21 over 28 is an equivalent fraction with 3 over 4, or since this is the blank I filled in, your book would simply have 4 as the answer. So hopefully that lesson is not too bad. I will give you in this video the assignment, but when I email you, I will also write it down. But we are looking at lesson 5.4 on page 195. You're doing problems 11 through 19. That's all the new concept problems. And then you're also going to do in the back of the book on page 570, under lesson 5.4, I'm going to have you do problems 1 through 20, and some of those will be review from the first concept in lesson 5.4, and some will be the ones that we just went over today. So as always, if you have any questions, feel free to shoot me an email, and I'll send you back a response. So again, we're praying for you. Hope you get better, and hope to see you soon. Bye for now.